coffee break on the 8 a.m. network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with the latest local news, including a stabbing in Stratford, a vigil held last night in New Canaan, and much more. Frank Renito has your forecast, and later on, a Nutmeg Sports Update. And as always, Donald Ang will give us a look back on this day in history. But first, a 22-year-old Bridgeport man was arrested Tuesday after arriving unannounced at a coworker's home and stabbing one person there. Juan Santiago arrived at 133 Hollister Street in Stratford for an unknown reason. Now, Santiago was not invited into the home and eventually climbed through a bedroom window of that residence where the female homeowner and her boyfriend confronted him. Police said Santiago was armed with a knife and eventually stabbed the male victim. He also hit the female resident coworker prior to fleeing the area on a bicycle. Now, Santiago was located and arrested by Stratford officers on Stratford Avenue in Bridgeport. The knife used in that assault was found alongside the road on Hollister, where Santiago discarded it as he fled. Now, the male victim was treated for non-life-threatening stab wounds to his torso and hand at Bridgeport Hospital. Santiago faces charges of assault, carrying a dangerous weapon, and home invasion. He'll appear in court on October 9th. And in other news, Stamford police say a city woman was the victim of an armed robbery near Fairway Market in Stamford's South End on Sunday morning. The Stamford Advocate reports that a woman was walking north on John Street looking at her phone when a stranger came up from behind her at around 9:30 in the morning. The unidentified man got in front of her and tried to grab the phone out of her hand while holding a black gun in his other hand. The 32-year-old woman was wearing a purse strapped across her body, and the man began trying to wrestle the purse away from her. The man was eventually able to pull the phone from the woman's hand and then fled north on John Street before turning west on Market Street. Well, once the woman contacted police, officers swarmed into the area and a couple of men were detained, but none were identified as the assailant. The robber was described as a light-skinned black male who may have been Hispanic. He was between 17 and 22 years old and about 5'7" to 5'9" tall in height. He also had short black hair, brown eyes, and at the time was wearing a black winter coat. Well, Milford police arrested 61-year-old Vincent Rodinelli of Milford after he reportedly used a firearm to shoot at skunks in his yard on Grinnell Place on September 30th. Police say Rodinelli was shooting at the skunks from an upper porch. He told officers he was doing this due to the large population of skunks near his home. Rodinelli was charged with second-degree breach of peace and negligent hunting. He was released on a promise to appear in court on October 24th. And a report of vandalism at Ridgefield's Ballard Park over the weekend is being investigated by the police department. First Selectman Rudy Marconi said he personally made a call to police on Monday after receiving complaints from several residents about 2 steel trash cans that were turned over. Marconi confirmed that one trash can was knocked into a bush over the park's north entrance, with the debris being tossed all over the concrete. Now, another trash can was pushed into the park onto the grass. The press received several photos of the trash strewn around the park's north entrance near the CVS shopping center on Main Street. The photos were taken on Sunday, October 1st in the afternoon. Now, another photo we showed you showed a pile of white powder scattered over the sidewalk. Now, according to Marconi, the perpetrators could have been picked up on the scene by cameras. He said it would be best if they come forward now as opposed to waiting for an arrest. Now, it is the 4th time in 11 months that police have investigated vandalism in that park. And 2 New Canaan minor residents, both 17 years old, were arrested for possession of alcohol by a minor after partygoers ran away from officers on Heritage Hill Road. This happened on Friday, September 29th, around 8:30 p.m. when police responded to a report of a possible underage drinking party. Well, upon arriving, officers observed multiple young people running out of the residence away from arriving police. Upon entering the home, officers found several liquor bottles and beer cans. 2 17-year-old juveniles were given infractions for possession of alcohol by a minor, and one was also given a juvenile summons for failure to halt possession of alcohol. And in other news, Governor Daniel P. Malloy announced today that Charter Communications, the second largest cable operator in the United States, announced the company's plans to build a 500,000 square foot 15-story headquarters at 406 Washington Boulevard in Stamford. Now, following its commitment to create and retain 400 jobs under the state's First 5 program back in 2012, Charter has committed to creating an additional 1,100 new corporate headquarters jobs and has agreed to a total of $100 million in planned capital expenditures in Connecticut over the next several years. And in New Canaan last night, during a time of distress after a senseless mass murder in Nevada, and with neighbors suffering and recovering after hurricanes, close to 200 citizens gathered at the Congregational Church on God's Acre Monday night. First Selectman Rob Malazzi opened the ceremony, saying in part, "In times of confusion, chaos, doubt, and grief, we seek the comfort of what this special hillside offers: reflection, community, context, and safety." While clergy from churches across New Canaan had responded to the call of Reverend Chapin Garner of the Congregational Church and joined for the community service. Candles were lighted, psalms were read, and hymns were sung. But you can get more on that at ncadvertiser.com. Switch gears now, throw it over to Frank Granito for a look at the forecast. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. And we are looking at another beautiful fall day here, as we're going to see mostly sunny skies throughout the afternoon. A high of 73 is expected, and we will see mostly clear skies again overnight, with temperatures dropping down to around 52 degrees. A little warmer out tomorrow, a high of 74, but it's going to feel more like 80 with humidity levels on the rise a little bit. Plenty of sunshine throughout the day, and then we see some increasing cloud cover later on. Patchy clouds and mild conditions overnight. A low of 62 before Thursday. Thursday, warmest day of the week. We'll see temperatures in the high 70s, could feel around 85 with humidity. Plenty of sunshine again, though. Maybe some intervals of clouds mixing in later in the day. We'll see clear to partly cloudy skies overnight. Again, pretty mild out. This time a low of 58. That's going to do it for this weather update. Let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. We're going to step out for a break. When we come back, Donald Eng joins us to take a look back on this day in history. Frank has your Nutmeg Sports Update, and there's more local news coming up after this.
Had a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care gives you direct access to orthopedic specialists fast without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care can help. Open 7 days a week now at 3 locations: the iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue, Norwalk, 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien, or in the Westport Medical Center at 323 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Go to coastalorthoct.com. Like them on Facebook.
At the office of Dr. David Oshiro of Darien, we provide high-quality and personalized orthodontic treatment in a professional and caring environment. We make treatment fun for our young patients and believe it's never too late to have a healthy and beautiful smile. Call now for an appointment and find out more at droshiro.com.
The leaves are changing, water temps dropping, and the sun is setting a little earlier each day. But there's still a lot of great boating, fishing, and coast time left before we see the first snow. And above all, remember, it's always summer at the Dock Shop. With loads of new fishing tackle and accessories, clothing, jewelry, and home decor, the Dock Shop is just what you need when you start to feel that New England autumn chill. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
I'm Tracy Masella, a licensed clinical social worker at Silver Hill Hospital in New Canaan. Join me each month as we talk with experts on the front lines of the treatment of mental health and addiction. Straight Talk with Tracy, a Silver Hill Hospital production, airs at 12 p.m. on the second Thursday of each month here on the HAN network.
Welcome back to this October 3rd edition of your coffee break on the HAN network. Time to throw it over to Donald Eng to get a look back on this day in history. Don.
Well, it was the event of the century, of the previous century, but first we go to 1789. George Washington makes a official Thanksgiving Day proclamation designated by the government of the United States. Now, Thanksgiving celebrations following the harvest had been common dating back to the early 17th century, including at the Jamestown colony. The generally accepted first Thanksgiving in Plymouth in 1621, something of a historical retcon, but the Plymouth Pilgrims did begin holding annual Thanksgiving meals in 1623, although those would have had a lot less feasting and a lot more church than we generally have at Thanksgiving today. 1649, author Edgar Allan Poe found delirious in a gutter in Baltimore under mysterious circumstances. He would die a few days later, but he was never coherent enough to explain how he came to be in that condition. Speculation into the cause of death includes suicide, murder, cholera, hypoglycemia, rabies, syphilis, and influenza. In case you're wondering, there is no evidence that Poe was under the influence of alcohol or drugs at the time. The depiction of him as an alcoholic, drug abuser, essentially a madman, stems from an unauthorized biography by a temperance movement leader named Lucas Griswold, who saw a chance to use a famous person's untimely death to further a political agenda. 1993, a firefight breaks out during an attempt to capture key officials of warlord Mohammed Farah Aidid's organization in Mogadishu, Somalia. That is the first Battle of Somalia. There have been 8 more since then. It's also called the Battle of the Black Sea, and generally in the United States we refer to it now as Black Hawk Down. The raid cost 18 American lives and over 350 Somalis. The raid was actually successful. The people in question were captured, but the political fallout led to the withdrawal of U.S. forces from Somalia. The Somali Civil War, which began in 1986, continues. Finally, now we go to 1995. You know exactly where you were if you were alive then for this.
Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson, case number BA097211. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Nicole Brown Simpson, a human being, as charged in count 1 of the information.
And of course, O.J. Simpson acquitted of the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman after an 8-month trial. Now, interesting fact, though he was acquitted of killing Ron and Nicole, it is without question that one thing he did kill was the soap opera industry in the United States. The shows were preempted for live television coverage of the trial for 8 months, and it also taught TV executives that tawdry reality would play well on live daytime television. That is your look back in history for today, October 3rd, and I'm Donald Eng.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, in other local news, a new law designed to strengthen motor vehicle restraint system requirements for children went into effect in Connecticut this month. Now, the new law will increase the threshold age and weight at which children must be placed in rear-facing child restraint seats and the maximum age at which children must be secured in certain types of restraints, including booster seats. Now, as an overview of some pieces of the law, children under 2 years of age or less than 30 pounds must be in a rear-facing child restraint. Children 2 to 4 years of age or 30 through 39 pounds must be in a rear or forward-facing child restraint. Now, children 5 to 7 years or 40 through 59 pounds must be in a rear or forward-facing restraint or a booster seat, which is secured by a lap and shoulder seat belt. And finally, children 8 to 15 years old and at least 60 pounds must be in a child restraint or wearing a seat belt. All right, well, let's throw it back over to Frank Granito now for a Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. We had a couple more FCX football games last night, wrapping up this past weekend. The Greenwich Cardinals continued their undefeated start to the season. They rolled over the Norwalk Bears 48-0. This one not close for very long. On the 4th play of the game, the Cardinals blocking a punt, returning it 20 yards for the first score of the game. Cardinals have now put up 167 points offensively this season through just 3 weeks. We'll see how that works out, though, in 2 weeks' time when they welcome the New Canaan Rams for what will certainly be their biggest test of the early season. Only one other game in action last night, and the St. Joe's Cadets bounced back from their tough loss against Darien. They took on the Wilton Warriors at Tom Fujitani Field, and the Cadets get a 41-21 win over the Warriors. Now 3-1 on the season, Wilton falling to 2-2. Speaking of the Cadets, we were at St. Joseph High School last night for girls volleyball. We saw the Cadets and the Danbury Hatters in action. St. Joe's leading the East Division in the FCAC and Danbury leading the West. This one, as exciting as anticipated, it went the full 5 sets before St. Joe's was able to pull away. Christina Crocco and Bridget Fatsy, your best players of the match. We'll have full highlights of that game, plus we'll hear from those 2 players later on this afternoon on Nutmeg Sports. In other girls volleyball action, Greenwich defeated Staples 3-2 in 5 sets. Darien over defending conference champion 3-2. Norwalk shut out Central 3-0. West Hill and Ward also with 3-0 wins over Trinity Catholic and Wilton. Ridgefield continues their great start to the season. They defeated Brian McMahon, and Trumbull took down New Canaan 3-1. We'll have plenty more on this past weekend's football, plus highlights from yesterday, and we have your Athlete of the Week nominees coming up at 2 o'clock on Nutmeg Sports. That's going to do it for this Nutmeg Sports Update. Let's go back over to Kate.
Thanks so much, Frank. Well, on Friday, October 20th, the Darien Chamber of Commerce and Darien First Selectman Jamie Stevenson will host a breakfast at the Country Club of Darien that is featuring Linda McMahon, who's the 25th administrator of the U.S. Small Business Administration. Other participating organizations include the Norwalk and Westport Weston Chambers of Commerce, as well as the Business Council of Fairfield County. Now, tickets are on sale now at DarienChamber.com, and seating is limited. Organizers are asking people to pre-register by October 16th. There will be a breakfast buffet starting at 7:45, and Linda McMahon is expected to speak at 9 a.m. And Tree Conservancy of Darien, along with some other local nonprofits, are hosting a Shinrin-yoku walk open to the community with certified nature and forest therapy guide Jeffrey Wyant. Now, the October 14th walk is free and fulfills one of the Tree Conservancy's goals to educate the community about the value of trees and their care. Now, that walk is limited to 18 people, and reservations are required at treeconservancyofdarien.org. All right, we're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following on your coffee break after this.
At Pamby Motors, we're not worried about being the biggest dealership. We're focused on being the best. We're dedicated to giving you the best experience we can. The Pamby Motors team is here to help you choose the right Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram in a friendly, pressure-free environment. And right now, during the summer clearance event, you'll find some of our best prices, too. Like this lease on a 2017 Ram Quad Cab Express for $149 a month. Visit Pamby Motors, Route 7 in Richfield, PambyZone.com.
CT City Lacrosse is dedicated to the growth of lacrosse for youth and high school players. Directed by Stanford High head coach Mike Nazaro, we help players reach full potential on and off the field. With an indoor facility in Stanford, we offer year-round training, camps, clinics, and private instruction. Visit ctcitylax.com for more.
At Budget Blinds, we're in business to frame the light, the day, and the night. So we give you an exclusive combination of high style, expert service, our no surprises pricing, and our no questions asked warranty. We believe that everyone, at every budget, deserves style and service. Isn't that a beautiful place to be?
New Canaan Foreign Car. Yes, New Canaan Foreign Car has been servicing all makes of foreign cars for over 50 years. We also buy, sell, and consign cars too. We can help you with all your automotive needs from service to sales. Call us at 203-966-2681.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now during the Jeep Celebration event and Ram Power Days. Now through October 31st.
We know it's your busy season, and that's why Walter Stewart's Market is here to make things easy by offering the best of autumn under one roof. Walter Stewart's Market is your local one-stop fall shop. There are so many seasonal flavors to savor, and Stewart's has them all, from Blue Jay Orchard's local cider donuts to Vermont Farmstead cheddar and all of your favorite varieties of local apples and pears. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, and find us at stewartsmarket.com. Weed and Duryea, New Canaan's home center and full-service lumberyard. Everything for your home and improvement projects. We also carry seasonal items, barbecue grills, housewares, newest LED light bulbs, doors, windows, and much more. Weed and Duryea, 21 Grove Street, New Canaan, a division of Northeast Building Supply.
At Black Horse Garage, we fulfill all your sports car needs. We specialize in manufacturer-recommended service and aftermarket high-performance parts and installation. We have one of the nation's top storage facilities and offer a high-end collision department that understands your need for detail. Visit blackhorsegarage.com for more.
Welcome back to this Tuesday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today. A 22-year-old Bridgeport man was arrested Monday after arriving unannounced at a coworker's home and stabbing one person there. Juan Santiago arrived at 133 Hollister Street in Stratford for an unknown reason on Monday. Now, Santiago was not invited into the home, but eventually climbed through a bedroom window of the residence where the female homeowner and her boyfriend confronted him. Police said Santiago was armed with a knife and eventually stabbed the male victim. He also hit the female resident, who was his coworker, prior to fleeing the area on a bicycle. Now, Santiago was located and arrested by Stratford officers on Stratford Avenue in Bridgeport. The knife used in the assault was located along the side of the road on Hollister, where Santiago discarded it as he fled. Now, the male victim was treated for non-life-threatening stab wounds to his torso and hand at Bridgeport Hospital. Santiago faces charges of assault, carrying a dangerous weapon, and home invasion. He'll appear in court on October 9th. And Stamford police say a woman was the victim of an armed robbery near Fairway Market in Stamford South End on Sunday morning. The Stamford Advocate reports that a woman was walking north on John Street looking at her phone when a stranger came up from behind her at 9:30 a.m. The unidentified man got in front of her and tried to grab the phone out of her hand while holding a black gun in his other hand. The 32-year-old woman was wearing a purse strapped across her body, and the man began trying to wrestle the purse away from her. He eventually was able to pull the phone from her hand and fled north on John Street before turning west on Market Street. Once the woman contacted police, officers swarmed into the area and a couple of men were detained, but none were identified as the assailant. The robber was described as a light-skinned black male who may have been Hispanic. He was between 17 and 22 years old and about 5'7" to 5'9". He also had short black hair, brown eyes, and was wearing a black winter coat at the time. And Milford police have arrested 61-year-old Vincent Rodinelli of Milford after he reportedly used a firearm to shoot at skunks in his yard on Grinnell Street on September 30th. Now, police say Rodinelli was shooting at the skunks from an upper porch. He told officers he was doing that due to a large population of skunks that were near his home. He was charged with second-degree breach of peace and negligent hunting. He was released on a promise to appear in court on October 24th. And a report of vandalism at Ridgefield's Ballard Park over the weekend is being investigated by the Ridgefield Police Department. First Selectman Rudy Marconi said he personally made a call to police on Monday after receiving complaints from several residents about 2 steel trash cans that were turned over. Marconi confirmed that one trash can was knocked into a bush over at the park's north entrance, with the debris being tossed all over the concrete. Now, another trash can was pushed into the park onto the grass. The press received several photos of trash strewn about near the CVS entrance. The photos were taken Sunday, October 1st in the afternoon, and another photo, as you can see, showed a pile of white powder scattered over the sidewalk. Now, Marconi said the perpetrators could have been picked up on some cameras, and it would be best if they came forward now as opposed to waiting for an arrest. It is the 4th time in 11 months that police have investigated vandalism in that park. And 2 New Canaan minor residents, both 17 years old, were arrested for possession of alcohol by a minor after partygoers ran away from officers on Heritage Hill Road. This happened on Friday, September 29th, around 8:30 p.m. when police responded to a possible underage drinking party. Well, upon arriving, officers saw multiple young people running out of the home away from arriving police. Upon entering the residence, officers say they found several liquor bottles and beer cans. 2 17-year-old juveniles were given infractions for possession of alcohol by a minor, and one was given a summons for failure to halt possession of alcohol by a minor. And Governor Daniel P. Malloy announced that Charter Communications, the second largest cable operator in the United States, has announced plans to build a 500,000 square foot, 15-story headquarters at 406 Washington Boulevard in Stamford. Following its commitment to create and retain 400 jobs under the state's First 5 program back in 2012, Charter has committed to creating an additional 1,100 new corporate headquarter jobs and has agreed to a total of $100 million in planned capital expenditures in Connecticut over the next several years. All right, let's throw it over to Frank Granito now for one final look at the forecast. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. Mostly sunny skies are expected for today. We're going to see a high of 73 degrees throughout the afternoon, and then chilly overnight. Temperatures dropping down to around 52 with mostly clear skies. Tomorrow, looking like it's going to be sunny again. It'll be pleasantly warm. A little bit of humidity as temperatures feel right around 80, but not too bad compared to what we could see later in the week. A low of 62 overnight tomorrow. There could be some increase in cloud cover and some mild conditions as well. Thursday looking like it'll be the warmest day of the week, a high of 78 expected. Pleasant conditions outside, but we're going to see periods of sun and clouds through the later part of the day. A low of 58 overnight, and it'll still be mild out there heading towards the weekend. We'll keep you updated on that as we get closer to it as well. That's going to do it for this weather update. Make sure you tune back in at 2 o'clock for Nutmeg Sports this afternoon with myself and Kevin Coleman. John Kovach will make a guest appearance as well. Kate? Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. The Drive with Denise coming up at 12:30 today, of course, followed by Nutmeg Sports. And we'll see you tomorrow for your coffee break at 11. Enjoy the day.